Welcome back into Bison Overtime. I'm Logan, joined by Vinny, and we have a special guest on today, Grant Hubbard from the Spectrum. Welcome in to
Thanks,
our
fellas. Thanks
disorganized show.
Thanks for having me in.
So, Vinny brought this guy on. Says he's going to be great for this show.
It would be awesome.
Give the people a little bit of background. You know, right now you're just a face. You know,
I'm just a face.
Just a face.
You're just known as Spectrum guy right now.
Just Spectrum guy, yeah. So I'm the sports editor at the Spectrum. I've been there for about 8 months. So I started about September. I'm a freshman studying journalism, so I thought it'd be a good place to start. So I am the sports editor there, and what I do on a weekly basis, man, that's the third question on our script. So I guess my week technically starts on Tuesday, because that's when I send out the email to my writers. So I have 3 writers, Cash, who you've met, Cameron Harder, and Libby Leonard are my writers, and they cover, let's see, where we got basketball, we got baseball, we got softball, track. We just finished up the wrestling season. Yeah. I cover mainly football, because when you're a sports editor, you get to choose your topics. So
take the easy sport.
So I take the football one, but I write my email weekly, so give them their assignment, and then on the weekends we write our articles. So I write an article or 2 per week, depending on what's going on, and yeah, so it's a lot of fun. And we publish on Thursdays, so every Thursday that's out on the newsstands, and they're open on, our articles are always online. So yeah, so that's a little bit about the Spectrum.
I gotta ask you one question. How do you get freshmen into these clubs? Because it feels like we've gotten. Do we have any freshmen in Ben right now?
No.
Addie's one.
Ethan's
another one.
Ethan.
But it's like we don't have any journalism majors, as far as I know.
Have you tried email?
I don't really have, man.
We tried the one basic thing that
email?
do.
We went out to like every single class that was comm related.
Yeah.
This year and talked to them.
Okay.
And we got a couple of kids.
Okay.
It's just like I don't know.
No, Kyle, our editor-in-chief, just sent out an email, and because I had 1 writer last semester, that was Libby, and then I got 2 more the next semester.
Yeah.
So for me, it was pretty easy. Again, me getting the job, the sports editor job, was a story in itself. I told you this.
Really?
I don't think I told you this.
No.
So I walk in, so I fill an application to be the sports editor. I saw it online. I go into the office for the interview, gave him my application, gave Kyle the application, and then, pretty simple, he has his list of 20 questions listed out for me.
20 questions.
About
like
20 questions. Like he didn't type them up. They were previous questions that others have asked, right? He looks at my resume, and then he asks about 3 questions, says, yeah, the job's yours. We'll give it to you by Monday. I'm being honest, that's pretty much how the interview went, because my application was that good.
Yeah, like, I'm just built different, guys.
You were writing like poems, you know, it's just cooking.
No,
the laptop was on fire from the application
I don't want to brag on myself, but I did do broadcasting in high school.
Yeah.
I did 2.5 years of that.
What high school did you go to?
Fargo Davies High School.
See, my high school didn't have.
310 defending EDC champion, don't you forget it. So I did
North
that.
Dakota high school flex.
So I did that for 2.5 years. I was a sports editor for 3.5 years in high school.
Jeez.
And then I did an internship at AM 1100 The Flag for about 6 months. So
this has been like front of your mind for the last 4 years.
Give me this position.
So again, if I wasn't over there, I'd be in here.
Yeah.
But I want to do the Spectrum before anything else. So I'm currently working with Bison 1660, helping them out. So yeah, so I'm pretty filled with comm stuff.
I mean, we appreciate you even being on the show, and the collaboration between Spectrum and Ben is getting stronger.
I don't know if Vinny has any professional background with on camera. Do you?
No,
like,
I don't.
Before this?
I
no.
really don't.
I know. No. I did all of like a sports podcast for a year or 2, and that was kind of it. I came from high school, like 300 kids. There wasn't a chance of having broadcasting. We even have like a soccer team. We didn't have a swim team. None of that. So this was like amazing. I came here last year and got started in this.
Right.
And then our whole group from last year moved on. Like our leader transferred to U of M over the summer. Didn't tell anyone really. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had 2 seniors graduate. So it was just me and one other guy. And now we have like, 12, 15 people?
A good amount of people now, yeah.
It's been a journey.
Building.
It's been a trek.
Yeah, I mean, you did a really good job recruiting people, and
Thanks.
we got this 5-0.
I brought you into the building.
Yeah, exactly. Probably the food tour.
Better say I did a good job. I brought you in.
Yeah, putting in 25 hours a week.
I'm curious though, like, is it easier working Spectrum just because there's no like set time for like this? It's like you have to be here certain times, certain days throughout the week.
I would say yes because I don't have set office hours, so I can go in and out because I only have classes 2 days a week. But those days I am here.
Wait, what kind of classes you got as a freshman? You got 2 days a
what
week.
the hell?
I'm taking communication courses. I'm taking an English course. Let's see, what else am I taking?
So just basic.
So far, yeah, but
it's freshman year.
But by next semester, I'll have my prerequisites for journalism finished. So then I'll be in the journalism program by spring of sophomore year.
Guys, guys just go to it right now, just ahead of everybody.
I think I got into prereqs either that like second spring or like third fall. I don't remember. Yeah, it just depends. But this guy over here had like all like college classes, high school. He just jumped the whole year.
Like, yeah.
Must be nice.
I don't need another year here. That's 3.
You don't want to stay here?
3 years is enough, man.
You could be you could be my role next year.
Okay.
You know, nah. I'm a pass.
Yeah, because you can't do all the 7-year jobs.
But no, it's a lot of fun doing what I'm doing. So again, the access we get, going to events and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But again, just covering NDSU athletics, like I've wanted to go to NDSU since I was 7. Like I've always wanted to be here. So covering the athletics is just it's so much fun to do.
How do you feel living your 7-year-old dream?
Oh, it's fantastic.
I was gonna say it's gotta be everything dreamt of.
Yeah, like no, literally a couple years ago, because I went for for orientation and stuff, so like what you might be doing, right? I walked into the Spectrum office. I saw the sports desk. Like, I'm gonna do that someday. I took a picture of it, and I still have it on my phone. It's still even on my nameplate. My name's on the desk.
That's pretty cool.
So it's cool.
No, he went home, printed that picture off.
I didn't print it, but it's still on my phone.
On some Amon Ross St. Brown, he like wrote it on the inside of his eyelids. Every time he went to sleep, he saw that photo.
No, it's great living your dream, and welcome to the show.
Yep.
And what you came here for is a Bison sports recap and exciting news. NDSU women's basketball move on from the first round in the NITs.
Was it first or second round?
Second round.
Second round.
Move on to the second round. Beat one in the first is what I.
They got a bye week in the first round.
So this is the third round. They're
all right, now they're in the third round.
The Super 16.
You gotta give him a break.
Anyway,
he's new at this television thing.
He's doing a good job. He's got the energy.
I'm used to being on football, okay? I'm used to coaching.
Yeah, football's his thing.
This is not.
Did you cover the women's basketball story now that football's over? We didn't ask that. Like,
I didn't cover. I can delegate sports, so my writer Libby Leonard, she covers women's basketball for me, but she's also a photographer, so she takes pictures, so we can use her pictures in the articles. But no, I still read her articles and I watch most of the games, so I'm always informed of what's going on. And what they did against Montana was really impressive. They were always ahead. Yeah. They were up by 7 most of that game, but then because Montana is one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the country and for women's basketball, so they kept it within
strength
3 or 4
against strength.
points.
I mean, Ella Evans is one of the best shooters against one of the best teams.
Handling that behind the back pass though, man, that was ridiculous. Because
How do they move forward next year? I know they're still in the tournament, but you got to think about next year.
Yeah, Heaven's going to be gone.
Because Heaven's going to be gone.
Elle's going to step out, but
I don't think she will.
You don't think so?
No, I think she'll stay. I think they're pretty close-knit together, though.
Yeah.
I think.
But who's going to take Heaven's role then?
That's a good question. I don't know for sure, but maybe like Abby Graham could be a point guard next year.
Could you see Taryn possibly stepping into that role?
She's more of a shooter though than a passer right now, so that'd be interesting to see. But no, it'll be. If just Heaven moves on and no one else leaves, they could again. South Dakota State's gonna be really good again next year. They get everybody back off injury. But again, from where they were 5 years ago, which was barely winning 7 games in a season, Jory's got. He's working miracles with that program.
And then of course the men's team. I know they're not featured this week, but they lost and they heard Andrew Morgan's going to the portal. Yeah. We've lost several guys to the portal.
Yeah,
it's going to be unrecognizable next year.
It's rough because they lose. Well, yeah, you knew Scumberg was going to leave before the season even ended. I figured Morgan would leave.
It sounded like he had frustrations halfway through the year.
But that Richmond, I don't know. He may rub his players the wrong way. I want to know what happened in Vermilion in the back half because they beat UND. We saw that game. I wrote the article. Thanks for showing up, by the way, students. I appreciate it, to that game. But it was interesting because he watched that game in Vermilion. Morgan didn't score. Their post player had like 30 points. Then they played SDSU and lost by 25.
Yeah, it fell apart right at the end of the season.
And then they limp into the St. Thomas game. They're down by 20 in the first half. It was just like, I don't know what happened. It's like
you lost a team almost.
It almost seemed like you lost the locker room a little bit. That's true. But, I mean, they got Jody Buck's kid who's coming, Andy Stefanowicz, he's coming here next year. It was really good for them. They got a 6'9" center coming in from Texas, so they got some recruits coming in. But
any transfers coming in to replace those
not
guys?
that I know of,
no?
but Richmond doesn't want to strike the transfer portal. He's going to have to.
He's going to need to. These are big losses.
Again, Brett, like the scene from Moneyball, adapt or die. They're going to have to at this point. Like, you don't have a choice. I mean, like, you thought Damari Wheeler-Thomas would take a jump. Didn't happen. Jakari White was really good. He's on made all defensive team, but they got some holes they got to fill for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That and you're losing your best shooting Scunberg, your best post player in Morgan, and that's.
They still got Fetty. They got Federson.
They do.
He'll be around
Federson's
next year.
pretty good.
Yeah, he'll be there.
You need some more tools around that, especially if you want to make a run. Because this team this year felt like better than we've had the last couple of years.
Or at least March Madness.
At least since March Madness, yeah. And it still wasn't.
It still wasn't that great. No,
they've been treading water though. I mean, they got to 5 straight championship games, but did you really think there would be a serious threat to win those last couple? No. Like Grant Nelson, I knew would be a huge hole to fill. It's obvious they couldn't fill it to the extent of what Grant Nelson did last year.
See you going forward, I guess. long off season. We're not in that position to make decisions just yet.
Yeah.
But spring sports though are rough. It's been a rough stretch ever since I've been here.
It's been a terrible stretch for anything. If you're not football, basketball,
track and field, then
dominant.
You're garbage.
No, I don't know how to take that. But with baseball, again, you're playing some really good teams in non-conference, so you expect, like they played LSU a couple weeks ago. Like
they had a brutal night.
That was a terrible.
LSU, Oregon State.
I don't expect them to win a lot of those non-conference games. It's how you play in conference, right? And they won their first 2 Summit League series. They beat Oral Roberts, defending league champion. I mean, they're headed somewhere. The softball program, on the other hand.
Softball was.
Oh boy,
you can't get swept.
No,
they got swept before Omaha.
Yeah,
they got swept in the tournament, or in the tournament they won twice.
It's weird. Yeah. It's almost like the opposite. Like baseball started off so rough, they're non-conference. Like we saw them get stomped by all the Cali schools, by Oregon State, by LSU. Obviously, you expect those.
Yep.
And then softball is playing well, and now the wheels have fallen off once they hit conference.
It's not fun.
I don't think they're going to be back. Like they're supposed to be back this weekend, but we just got snow. Like I don't know what's going to happen. Like they might have to play that game somewhere else or wait.
Or play a snow game.
Yeah.
You know, football.
Snowball.
Snowball. Not softball. It's snowball now.
That'd be something. But yeah, they're just brutal. Like you can't get. We've seen this from softball this year. They just get extra inning. They get shut out. It's like. It's weird. There's teams that will be like the offense is good or the defense is good. For this team, it seems like they're both good or they're both really bad.
Yeah,
like there's no like close losses with this team.
No, it's a shame what they used to be too, because they used to be so good on the softball field.
I don't know what happened.
Everybody goes through their roots and valleys, and I guess they're hitting one right now. So
hopefully they dig it out.
Hopefully we'll see.
Hopefully we peak more towards the end of the season than because this is horrible. This is really bad. What is also really bad is our bracket.
Oh boy!
After a couple weeks.
You weren't here for the show, but he took New Mexico to the Elite Eight.
Sweet 16.
Pardon? Elite Eight. He took New Mexico to the Elite Eight.
I'm not kidding.
I knew there was going to be a Cinderella
story. Didn't you take New Mexico and Sanford to the Elite Eight? Sanford was at least a Sweet 16.
We have the paper.
It's somewhere in the bag.
Now, I know I picked Sanford and McNeese to go the second round. I listened to Seth Davis a little too much, so I probably shouldn't have done that.
I was much higher on McNeese than Sanford.
I had Grand Canyon going to the Sweet 16. I felt good about Grand Canyon, but because they were ahead in the second half against Bama and they fell apart. But I'm okay with that as a result because they were like in that game.
I gotta pat myself on the back really quick. I called the only first round upset in the women's tournament. I grabbed Middle Tennessee State.
You grabbed okay.
I did grab that.
Okay,
one.
I haven't been paying much attention to that.
Yeah. I also thought that Purdue was gonna have the wheels fall off, but they haven't. Like it's weird. We've watched Purdue and Gonzaga every single year. Feels like for the last 5 years fall apart, and this year they're both not.
You almost expect Gonzaga to at some point.
Yeah.
Like Purdue though, like. If you have the refs in your back pocket, aka Zach Edey,
you think it's that?
I mean, the free throw disparity is enough, but it's so hard to guard that guy. Like you watch the game they played like a couple days ago. Like I don't know how many fouls the guy gets drawn. It's ridiculous.
Isn't it like some insane number, like 40 free throws?
Absurd. It's absurd.
I don't even know.
It's just ridiculous.
But yeah, I don't know. It was an interesting tournament. I thought Purdue was going to drop. Gonzaga was going to drop. Neither one has. We both sat here the whole show. We're like, we know a 1 or 2 is going to drop, or maybe a 3. And Kentucky was the 3.
Kentucky was that.
Because every year there's that one team, but we didn't feel confident enough with the 1s and 2s. Mm-hmm. The matchups weren't that great for upsets.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason why Kentucky got upset was because of that. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, goal
3. He steps out of nowhere. This guy plays like Division 3, Division 2 for like his whole career, and he suddenly comes up to Oakland and he can't miss.
No,
he just earned himself like a G League contract.
No, he'll wind up on Miami's bench next year. Well, for no apparent reason, like he'll be next Duncan Robinson.
He should get a look after that. Sure. That's insane.
I mean, but the only problem with him is he's only taken 8 2-point shots. And the rest
it doesn't
of
matter. He's Kyle Korver. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's plenty of guys who made a career just shooting threes. Like, he was 10 for 10. I've never seen that in my life.
Like, Caitlin Clark, remember she said, like, the women's tournament might be more anticipated to watch than the men, right?
Yeah.
She might have a point.
She might be right.
Because the men, they were blowouts. Like almost every one of those games except, like, 3 games were blowouts. It was absurd.
I think the thing for me is there's more name recognition in the women.
That's true.
But people are still watching the men
more. But I thought JMU would play Duke a lot closer than they did. Yeah. That was just absurd. I'm like, what in the world?
The greatest games I saw was, if you wanted to, like, pitch it, was Creighton, Oregon.
Yes.
Was amazing.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of the other ones off the top of my head.
It was Houston and A&M. That was
Houston and A&M was a really good one.
That was the game I watched for sure.
But yeah, Creighton, Oregon was the last game of the day. It goes till like 12:30 in the morning because they're going to double overtime.
Yeah, no, the Houston game was the last game. That was the last game. But no, it was absurd, just ridiculous. Like all the women's tournament games. Like, I don't watch on women's basketball, but I watched. Well, like, I have to watch like Stanford and Iowa State went into overtime. UCLA was a close game. Iowa was in a close game. Because I remember I was working at Bison 1660. I was doing social media for them. Yeah. I was in the studio with producer Cole, and we're watching the women's game on the main monitor, the Bison game. And then on the back, Sam Niederman comes walking in the back door, and he's like, "I gotta watch this Indiana game. I want to go home, but I gotta watch this game." Like, it was just like, it's just a lot of anticipation for these games.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen just some bad blowouts, but Oakland NC State was bad. I watched that one.
Yeah.
I don't understand what Oakland's doing at the end.
No.
They didn't give Golke the ball once.
How do you guard that Burns dude? How do you guard him?
You don't. He's so good.
I want to see Zach Edey and him go at it. Like,
we're not. Awesome. I don't think we're gonna, sadly, but man, I wish.
It'd be awesome.
It's such a matchup.
It's a dream matchup.
But I'm like watching it, and I'm like screaming. I'm like, Oakland, you have to give your best shooter the ball with 15 seconds. No, they had all the time in the world. They don't even get a shot off.
No, they didn't.
And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, they're done.
No. Yeah. It was.
We saw every single overtime. There was one team that was fighting to stay in it and got gassed immediately. And then the other one, you could just tell they had bench. They just kept going. NC State had bench. They kept going. Creighton had bench. They kept going. Houston had bench,
Yeah.
I mean, NC State is now in the Sweet 16, though, so.
Yeah.
But again, this is why the transfer portal and NIL is slowly just the quality of basketball is just going to keep dipping. Because like the lowest seed left is NC State.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's still a winning program with a lot of tradition. They won 2 national championships, and they're the lowest seed left. Like, there's no Cinderella story necessarily.
I mean, the only one would be Oakland coming out of the
we had an almost 1 or 2 in Grand Canyon and Oakland. It's possible, but it's just like
it's so much
now
harder.
they have NIL. It's like, unless you have these donor programs, how do you support?
So like I asked my dad this a couple days ago, like, okay, if you had to pick which would be the next Summit League team to win a tournament game, and I said honestly St. Thomas, because they've got the money, they've got the backing, and they buried the Bison. I mean, it's just like they could win one.
NDSU just doesn't have the basketball support.
No, but
if it was the level football support, you could probably.
They just got to get you got to get to level South Dakota State. As sad as that sounds, you got to get back to that level. So
for every sport.
For every
sport.
This point,
at this point, it's been a.
Or do you think they do what JMU did, where they just kind of move up and just try and play
again,
almost in a way like weaker competition?
Yeah, that's the problem though. No one's going to take them.
No,
you're a victim of your own success.
Yeah, it's such a bad location. Like the only sport that we talked about this, I thought, early in the year, the only sport that you should move up in is football, because everything else, it doesn't make sense.
But football only isn't lucrative for the university. It's just not, and you can't get the money to move up. You can't move up because you need an invite to do that, and you just don't have it. And again, regionalization be damned at this point, because it doesn't matter because of conference realignment.
It's USC and UCLA are in the Big Ten. I'm sick to my stomach.
That will still not make sense when they hear it.
For the next 10 years, I can't accept that.
So when Gus Johnson's yelling at me from the Coliseum, it's Ohio State. It's a Big Ten battle between Ohio State and UCLA. I'm like, no, it's not. It's a non-conference game in September.
Someone said, I forget who, it was some former college guy. He said that they should just get rid of all of it. Yeah. They should make an upper 64 and a lower 64.
Yeah, it was the night commission plan. That they've been talking about.
And I'm like, honestly, why not?
So
you force the teams to fend for themselves like Notre Dame
right.
does.
But if you're Matt Larson, you're caught in this kind of limbo where you don't know what the future of FCS is, but you don't know what the future of FBS is either. You know you're going to be at 16 teams at the FBS in a couple years for the playoff, right?
Yeah.
But you don't know, are they going to break off to their own thing? Are we going to stay here? You just don't know yet. So it's so confusing for now.
It is a little confusing. And also, like,
we're going to get a March Madness tournament of football. It's going to be 64 before we know it.
And according to Jay Williams for basketball, we should have 112 teams. So regular season doesn't matter anymore.
Did you hear in the NFL news they want another week of games?
That's going to happen.
Yeah. They already passed. They passed that they're having a Christmas Day game. They don't care it's on a Wednesday.
No,
they're blowing right through it.
I mean, my Christmas was ruined in 2020 by the Vikes, and Alvin Kamara scoring 6 touchdowns. So, I mean,
in the red and green cleats, I remember that. And then he got banned. You got fined the next day for that.
Cleats were cool. Game was not. So
I don't understand.
That's exactly why he scored 6 touchdowns.
I don't
because of those cleats.
Because of the cleats.
I don't understand that. They're like the next day. They're like, he can't wear the cleats. I'm like, when are they gonna let the guys do what they want to do? That's clearly how you sell the league, right?
It stands for the no fun. It stands for the no fun league.
I understand like uniform like standards. You can't have like Jim McMahon where you're like writing "Fu" to the commissioner on your headband. But like you gotta let the guys wear like cleats or visors a little
have
bit
some
different.
fun, right?
Yeah, like.
Well, I mean, speaking of, they are taking out hip tackling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this going to be in Spectrum at all? Like, because they've made several changes: hip tackling and kickoff.
I mean, it doesn't concern NDSU. It's not college related. So I'm probably not going to talk about it. But like, I'm always under the opinion, like, how are you supposed to tackle somebody?
Right.
You know, like, how are you supposed to do that?
Keep turf fields.
Are we just doing flag football at this point? Are we just having Pro Bowl games now?
Yeah, we'll go back to the 2020 Pro Bowl where it's just you touch them when they're down. Like,
where Mac Jones Grading's the best part of it.
Oh my goodness.
The only Mac Jones highlight out on the internet is
that's
him
the only thing he's known for.
As a Patriot.
On a dead play.
On a dead play.
But I was like, I get it. Like Gus Edwards came out. He's like, I love the hip tackle. I'm like, of course you love it being gone. You're on offense.
Yeah.
But the offense has been getting rule changes for the last 10 years.
Right. They're never going to throw a
flag. I mean, how are you
going
to tackle now? Like, that's exactly how you get taught. Just
if you like have a guy stop momentum, you drop him like that.
Exactly. I don't know. It's bad.
I feel bad for DBs. Can't do anything.
No, it's going to be all shoestring tackle. They've already taken out any kind of high tackle. Yep. Now you're taking out using your body weight tackle.
Yep.
Like, what's left? You trip the guy?
Well, no, there's already a tripping penalty.
Exactly. You're right.
So we can't even trip people now.
You just got to smack him by the leg, I guess, if they fall over. Like, if it's Derrick Henry, you just let him walk in. I don't.
If you're Derrick Henry, man, you would love
Derrick Henry's getting on the fantasy team because they
training.
can't tackle.
Yeah, you watch training camps around the league this year. It's just a straight hour and a half just on fit form tackling. It's just, there'll probably be a ref there explaining how to tackle somebody.
They've done this in the past. I remember the ref in the past, they'd bring refs to all the camps. But with that one, it was like, at least they could kind of justify it.
Right.
This one, I don't know how you do.
But it says in fine print, do not touch Patrick Mahomes under any circumstances.
Dude, I'm not kidding. I played my buddy in Madden, and we played random teams. And he was Mahomes, and I swear, they put the Mahomes bias in the game.
No,
all of a sudden, the refs are like, the refs threw a penalty on me for roughing him on a pick six. I'm like,
what?
I'm like, EA got one thing right.
God.
Right.
The Jets call, I still can't forget that. Where like they don't throw the flag till after it gets picked.
Right.
I was like, you're kidding.
There was a research done by some random guy, but I don't know if this is credible. But like over the last 3 years, flags thrown on Patrick Mahomes after interception was like at 44, and the next person down was Josh Allen at 7.
Yeah, no, they're trying to protect the league. They're trying to protect the guy of the league.
He's an expert.
He's basically LeBron. They're gonna call every single thing for him.
Yeah. For sure.
And I just don't get it. I don't understand that you're saying player safety, and then we've seen these turf studies, and you're just ignoring them.
Yeah.
They're just flipping them off. They won't even listen.
Right.
Like MetLife's the worst stadium, won't get changed.
I thought they were going to get grass, though, because they have to for the World Cup.
Yeah.
So
do you think that's going to stick? That's the thing.
True.
There you go.
Yeah.
Over the last
53 picks that have been overturned.
Penalty.
And people in the comments are like, well, yeah, he's going to throw, like, gimme balls. I'm like, yeah, I get that. But you think Josh Allen isn't?
But 53 of them? That's
how many free plays did you get?
Right. Like, it's Aaron Rodgers all over again.
Aaron, like, they don't count those. I don't think they count free plays as overturned.
No, because they blow it dead usually now.
Yeah. Yep. That's also really bad. I hate that.
Yeah. I mean, while we are talking about the Chiefs, they did trade Jarius Sneed to the Titans for a bag of chips.
For a third.
I don't get it.
Bag of chips.
We've seen just no trade value this year.
I don't get what the Titans are doing. more than anything else. Like, you signed Tony Pollard, okay, but you put $80-something million into Calvin Ridley. Okay, and then you get L'Jarius Sneed.
And then extend them for $72 million.
We both looked at each other 2 weeks ago like, what are they doing? Or no, last week, wasn't it? Yeah,
last week because you could have just signed back A.J. Brown.
They went 4 years older, waited 3 years,
yep,
and paid $8 million less.
No, I don't think people talk about how bad the Ryan Tannehill contract was.
Oh.
It was 4 years, $100 million for a guy to hand off to Derrick Henry. Don't you wish we could have been in the NFL so we could have done that for our entire career?
Well, you know what's great is being a Browns fan, I have to deal with Steelers fans on Twitter all the time because they show up my feed constantly. They won't leave me alone.
Watson.
Yeah, that's it. I've gotten over it. But now that they've hired Arthur Smith as the Steelers OC, I started laughing immediately.
Oh boy.
So all those Steelers fans are like, well, he had like a Pro Bowl quarterback in Tannehill. I'm like, yeah, and he had the greatest running back in Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
You could have put Christian Ponder under center. He would have been a Pro Bowler.
No, that guy had the greatest play-action fake in NFL history. Don't you forget it.
Yeah, because Adrian Peterson was.
Yes, exactly. Kyle Rudolph was open every time.
It's like you can't. I just watched Arthur Smith go to Atlanta. And sure, the quarterback play was bad.
And run the Falcons into the ground.
Yeah, but you had Bijan, you had Drake London, you had Kyle Pitts, and nothing.
No, I remember the Vikings game when Josh Dobbs came in.
Yeah.
In that same game.
Costernai!
No, Jonnu Smith is running end-arounds. He's catching tight end screens for
Smith
touchdowns.
Had the season of his life.
You have Kyle Pitts,
He's calling his agent like, please give me to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, give me to Pittsburgh. Yeah.
I mean, what? Now you're Arthur Smith. Now you got Cordell Patterson.
I'm convinced Arthur took the over on Jonnu Smith every single week. There's no way.
Yeah. No.
But yes,
I
don't get it. Like Sneed probably was gonna go just because he was tagged. You already paid Chris Jones. You've paid Mahomes recently. Like they've got to get money.
They had. And
who did they bring in? They brought in Hollywood at receiver.
Yep.
So it's just
that was a good signing for the Chiefs. They needed a wide receiver.
And they still have Trent McDuffie, and they have a good secondary anyway. So it's not bad.
The most critical piece.
No, he's far from it.
But speaking of Steelers, this one was what 15, 20 minutes ago. Cordell Patterson. What are the Steelers doing?
That's a great question.
You move on from Tiny Hands, Kenny Pickett, which I get.
Now you replace him with Russell Wilson and
Justin Fields.
Yeah, and everyone's like,
this to go 9, 7, and 1.
And everyone immediately is like, this is great. Russell's gonna, mentor Fields, which I can understand.
Yeah.
But then they immediately come out and say, like 2 days later, we're gonna try and keep Russell Wilson long term. I'm like, long term for what? Until he retires?
The Steelers are so directionless.
No,
it's ridiculous.
And it's beautiful. It's so beautiful.
It is.
I love it.
Because remember, they've won 6 Super Bowls, right? And since 2018, they've been mediocrity is king.
Yeah. Ever since 2010. They've been a bad team.
No, but they made the AFC Championship game in 2017.
They've had good talent, but they haven't done anything with it. Tomlin can't win with the talent.
No.
You had, I hate to say this, you had Big Ben, who was a great quarterback at the time.
Yeah.
AB was the best receiver in the league.
Yes.
Le'Veon was top 2 in the league. Nothing came of it.
No.
Nothing. And their defense wasn't terrible.
No, that's the backbone of the franchise.
Yeah,
it's steel curtain, right? You're known for your defense, and
if Tomlin, this smells like a Bill Belichick bringing in Cam Newton desperation from Tomlin. You remember that where Bill brought in Cam, and everyone was like, "This isn't going to work." That's what the Russ move is. This is a former great quarterback who's a mobile guy, not anymore. He's been spit on by He's been spit on by the NFL as a whole because no one wants him.
Right.
And now you're bringing him in to try and save the franchise. That's.
Wow. I mean, now you're actually a little bit smart bringing in Justin Fields.
Yeah, but
having him long term is
But they immediately say that they want Russ long term, and Fields got chased out of Chicago. He wasn't a stellar quarterback.
He had a lot of talent.
He's fun to watch.
I'm so happy.
He's not a great
I'm just so happy that's done because I'm so tired of turning on Get Up every morning and going, Justin Fields saga continues. I'm like,
there wasn't a market for Chicago.
You know what you're gonna get. Just trade him and move on.
It wasn't that there wasn't a market. It's that they sat there and they waited forever.
They just sat on their hands for 2 months.
You had what? Washington needed a QB. Seattle probably needed a QB.
Yep.
Oakland needed a QB.
They always need a QB.
Tennessee. Nowhere. They didn't give him anywhere. Yeah. They just waited forever.
But again,
speaking of needing the quarterback, what do you think your Vikings are going to do?
Okay, first of all, I love the Kirk Cousins news that he's gone because
I love the Kirk Cousins news for Atlanta. Honestly, I think Atlanta deserves a quarterback.
Do you want to pay a 36-year-old $180 million off an Achilles injury?
Let's be really honest here,
That's
though.
the tough part.
If you're Atlanta,
It's a good
You
signing.
watch that team all the last 2 years.
Yes.
You're paying anybody who can throw the
Right.
ball, and Kirk can throw the
That's
ball.
true.
They don't
But
need him to
exactly.
run.
But
He just
again,
needs
no.
to stay alive.
But again, you want to pay him till he's 40? I mean,
no.
that's the thing I can't.
It was a bit
he's
of
not Tom
desperation.
Brady.
No,
He
no.
won't. He won't peak probably.
But this is the same Atlanta team that was in the Deshaun sweepstakes 2 years
Right.
ago, and they lost out on it.
Right.
And they watched Carolina lose those sweepstakes, go get Bryce Young and absolutely
Right.
just flop.
Tank.
But
Yeah.
like, I think win the NFC South next couple of years. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a safe assumption.
I'd like him more than
But
the
if you're the
Bucs.
Vikings,
I do too.
you can the money that was in Kirk, you can now reinvest it into defensive players that
We
they
saw that.
desperately needed.
Yeah.
They got a linebacker. They got some guys to help on defensive line. Secondary got a little better. So
Yeah, we saw that right away. They got Greenard, they got Van
Van
Ginkel,
Ginkel.
Cashman, I believe.
They got Blake Cashman.
They brought in Aaron Jones on offense.
There you go. Yep, that's what I was forgetting. It was
I was
Aaron
like, wait a
Jones.
minute. There was, yeah.
So, and again,
And Darnold.
and again, I'm not asking Jefferson's involved in what I've been told is he's been involved in some of their decision making to get a quarterback, which is honestly a good thing.
They're going to be drafting.
They're
Well,
gonna
yeah,
draft
okay.
one.
You got Jordan Addison and you have JJ.
Yeah.
What's
Hawkinson.
your wide receiver 3 though?
Wide receiver 3 right
Hawkinson,
now.
you don't need a wide
I-
receiver.
yeah, that's
three.
true.
Well, he's out the
Hawkinson-
first 4 games
That's
because
true,
of
yeah.
the ACL. They brought back Brandon Powell
Yeah,
to be
they
the third
have-
receiver because they let
Osborne went to the
because
Patriots.
Osborne's a Patriot, which is not the worst thing in the
Vinny
world.
was bragging about it, and I looked at him and said, "Who else do you have?"
Yeah.
No one.
No, but, like, I'm okay with it. But now it's just okay. When are the Vikings going to move up, and
Yeah.
to what pick? Is it 5 or is it 3?
We were.
It's 3.
I would want 3.
I mock 3.
I think you'd
Yeah.
want 3, but
I think you'd want 3.
what makes you say 3? If who's on the board for 3?
Okay,
Because Caleb's going to be gone.
Williams is gone. I think Daniels is going 2.
Yeah,
And then it's between
May.
May and McCarthy.
and
And
McCarthy. I
McCarthy.
want Drake May.
I'd want May
No
more.
question.
I
we
would- I
both
would
went
get.
over this. McCarthy's the Patriots pick. If Bill's still the coach,
if,
we already know
Oh,
it's McCarthy.
absolutely.
I mean, if we trade down to the Vikings spot at 11, I would try to get JJ McCarthy if no one else
Yeah.
tries to jump us.
But again,
But, yeah.
because the way Harbaugh talks up McCarthy, the
makes
odds
him
keep
sound
sliding
like a
up on where
stud.
they're
But they
gonna.
shouldn't go for McCarthy.
No. Do you
We
wanna-
had this mock, and we said
But
that
I'm
Harbaugh
just-
should go
yeah.
with the Dunze because
But
he
I-
watched him go
right,
against
but I'm just like, do you want a game manager or a game changer? You've had a game manager for the last 6 years. Do you want to get to the playoffs or win in the playoffs? I
Yeah,
think
because you just watched Green Bay. It's supposed to be a struggling team. Just go off.
win 10 games and beat the Cowboys.
I mean, we watched Jordan Love turn superhuman this
But
second
again,
half. And what happened? He took his
everybody
Flintstones down.
everybody
Cowboys.
beats the Cowboys in the playoffs.
I mean,
since
yeah,
95,
I mean,
so that's not a
that's
big
a
deal.
guarantee.
I was laughing so hard because the Browns got stomped,
Oh,
and I watched
yeah.
the House of Cards fall in, and I knew it was gonna fall, but I didn't think it was gonna be that fast.
Cowboys
Yeah.
go, oh, it's our year.
And then
it's our
my
year.
buddy, who's a diehard Cowboys fan, he's giving me shit for it,
Yeah,
railing on me.
right.
And then his team falls apart at home as the 2 seed. I'm like, now what's your excuse?
48
What?
to 16.
I was like-
And then Jerry
And he's,
Jeudy
he's
says,
like, no, it was 48 to 32. I'm like, oh yeah, when they put in the practice squad, I was like, congrats.
Yep.
and then Jerry Jones says, yeah, I'm all in this offseason.
Oh,
Signs
my.
nobody except for a long snapper.
And Eric Hendricks.
Yeah,
And Eric
exactly.
Kendricks.
And Eric Hendricks.
Oh my god.
They're gonna riot. They're gonna throw Jerry out of town.
I'm being honest. I've seen the definition of all in at this point. Like, I just asking questions. Like, you see the picture of him with a legal pad. He's got scribbles written down. Like, are you practicing your signature or are you actually trying to sign somebody? I don't know
Well,
what you're doing.
the weird thing about Jerry is he likes his own guys so much he won't get rid of them. He won't
Yes.
improve.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't have that as a GM.
But
I
again-
know you want to have attachment and be close to the guys, and build good connections. They feel wanted.
Right.
But if you see a better guy, you have to go get it.
Like,
and we saw
yeah.
plenty of teams do that. Washington did that.
Yeah.
Philly did that. New York pretended they did that.
Pretended, yeah. That's a good
Yeah,
word.
they're like, oh no, Devin Singletary's better than Saquon.
Yeah, but again, it's also a sign that you're a good team if you don't need to get that many personnel decisions.
Yeah,
to be made.
we're
Like,
not expecting them
no,
to flip the roster.
No, but now you just
we
need,
knew they had needs.
No, but they have to save money to sign Micah and
Yeah.
to get CD
And
extended.
Dak again.
Maybe Dak again. Like I let him play in last year of his contract.
Dak's
so see
playing.
how that
He's getting
goes.
paid way
He's
too much
getting
for all his
paid
plays.
too much.
I don't get it.
And you thought Kirk's contract was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Dak is just Kirk in Dallas.
Yes.
That's all it is.
Oh, absolutely. No question.
He's all stats, game manager. I watch him blow the games, and then he racks up the stats, and everyone's pointing at the stats. I'm like, yeah, but did you watch the first and second quarter where he threw 2 picks?
And he needs a running game, and he doesn't have one. So
No.
Yep.
good job, Jerry.
Nope.
Yeah,
They
the
don't
one
what?
time they had success was with Zeke.
Yep,
Was it
with
Zeke in
Zeke.
16?
Right on the 16,
Who's their
17,
running back
18.
core right now? Literally
It's
Hunter Lupke.
It's Deuce Vaughn.
Deuce
and
Vaughn.
Hunter Lipke. That's it.
Hunter
So-
Lipke, Snoop, like Davis or something, and then they brought
Oh, yeah.
back Rico Dowdle.
Oh, okay.
And Rico
What,
wasn't,
you think Deuce
Rico
and-
wasn't a main runner.
Well, I mean, Deuce and
Deuce is 5 foot
Lupke
nothing.
could do
Well,
something.
you got to find him first before
Yeah.
you can tackle him.
But-
so it's not that
but
big
we-
of a deal.
Yeah, but we
So
watched.
midget
We watched.
running
Yeah,
around.
you got to find him first. So
But we watched. What was it? McCarthy ran the offense last year, and he couldn't get anything going to Pollard.
No.
And Vaughn's even smaller.
Right.
So you need to get a bigger back.
Yeah.
I'm not against having Vaughn as an option, but he's not going to.
Or get Lipke more carries. I mean,
yeah,
see what happens when
exactly.
you get Lipke carries.
That's what
so.
Maybe,
I did bring that up to the show.
He's
going to
shut
it down. He's like, I just don't see Hunter Lupke being the same role as it.
Well,
he
here's
has
the thing.
He's blocking. He's not a fullback. He's gonna be a fullback.
He's a fullback type. If you want him to be a running back, you have to shed like what, 15, 20 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm assuming
I
from
would
his current
say
weight.
At least,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could be like Derrick Henry, but even Derrick Henry took like 3 years to really become the guy he was. And he was built as a running back.
Yeah.
So maybe.
Yep. Do we want to talk about this Netflix?
You put it on.
Yeah,
I
you
did
put it
on
on the sheets.
I didn't hear about this.
What? You didn't hear about this?
No.
No, NFL is coming out with a new series called
Is this
Receivers.
like they did the quarterbacks?
This is quarterbacks.
This is exactly like quarterbacks, but this was receivers. And then
we've got divas now.
Yeah.
But no, but here's the thing. Here's the funny thing. They have receivers, but they have George Kittle in it.
Yep.
A tight end.
George Kittle's great though.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
He's got personality when he's a tight end.
He's
you're
like
calling
a
it
more
receivers,
he's
so
like
you
a
have to
more
get
likable
receivers.
Travis Kelce.
Yeah,
you snubbed Tyreek Hill for Kittle. Who's more funnier?
Seeing the recent headlines, I wouldn't put Tyreek anywhere near the face of my league. He's had a lot of allegations as of late.
Does JJ take Tuesdays off too? Can't wait to see that. Can't wait to see that. That's gonna be fun.
But
that's gonna be interesting. But
yeah,
other sports, honestly, it's just betting. What is going on?
Sport betting.
Jonte Porter and do you think Shohei did it? I think Shohei did.
No, I don't think Shohei did it.
I think he did.
No,
come on.
I don't.
How are you telling me that a guy steals $4 million?
No, that was.
And you don't even recognize it.
I saw the picture from the.
I think he's placing the bets for Shohei, and then Shohei is using his
from
but
the
that's
Soul
$4 million.
Series. There was that picture.
Where they're like both smiling.
Yeah, no, it was Shohei's in the on deck circle and bets. Otani bets. So I thought that was funny, but like, no, I don't think he did anything. The worst thing that happens to Otani is that you get fined for being a good friend. Then whatever.
Okay,
I guess.
but like
he's got the money to cover the
right,
fines.
but I don't know.
Why would you hand your translator your
because
availability
this is
your
Pete
bank
Rose,
account?
but he watched Pete Rose do this because Pete Rose did this and got busted because it's him doing the bets.
Right.
So you have someone else do it, and you say he's stealing my funds.
Right. I don't think Otani did anything. I think that's a little.
I think it's a little bit more likely than the guy stole your money without you realizing.
I don't think he stole it.
Yeah.
I don't buy that.
That's $4 million. Like,
if
there's no way.
If you gave him like $4 million to use on that. Maybe
he could probably done a quarter of it, but I don't think you
honestly,
give your friend $4 million to bet.
This brings me to like the hottest take I've had in the last 24 hours, which is they should legalize money line betting on your own team for players.
I mean, they already allow politicians to go
you should
on
allow
stocks.
you
so,
should allow
well.
you should allow first off athletes to bet on other sports.
Right.
Come on. You telling me that LeBron's gonna have influence over an MLB game?
Nope.
Shouldn't. If he does, then those guys should be gone for the team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's fair.
Right.
And then you can't have player props for yourself.
No.
Because you're going to mess up your performance.
Right.
Exactly.
You're just going to. That's why Jonte Porter's being accused of. Because he's had the under and he's done nothing in his minutes. He just won't shoot.
No.
If you have money line, though, for your own team, you can't pick the other team. Your own team.
Yep.
Isn't that the goal? You're trying to win every game?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't see how that's an issue.
For sure.
I mean, but
Calvin Ridley's
Calvin
going
Ridley,
to
like,
Ridley.
come on, I just got suspended for a
like
year.
Titans money line every week. I'm in.
Yeah.
I think that's like a fair bet. If you like allow the players to bet on their own team winning.
Yeah.
No point line because they're going to shave.
Right.
Just straight win. I don't see an issue with that.
No.
I
mean, you're already allowing politicians to do that with stocks, so I mean, might as well just let athletes do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
we
they
just
have
sit here
all the
and
money
watch,
anyway.
We just sit here and watch people make $150,000 become, multimillionaires over and
Exactly.
over, and just go, I don't know how that happened.
Whoa, what?
Really?
What happened?
They predicted this when the legislation came out 2 weeks later. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Shout out Nancy Pelosi. And she's the richest $150,000 earner I've ever seen.
Right.
I don't know how you built $50 million off that, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Something crazy.
I don't know. But yeah, I think legalize sports betting for us.
Legalize it for all the states. At this point, it's ridiculous.
No, for sure.
And then legalize.
He watched me have a tirade over this.
Yeah. Oh
I
my
had a whole
God.
meltdown over
He's like, we got to move to, what was it? What city was it?
Michigan? City.
Yeah, you said we got to move to the state and then it would pay for itself.
Michigan was the one. Because Michigan's the closest to where I live. It's an hour north.
Right.
So I was like, honestly, over the summer, I might just go up there a day and just put all my bets in. Because
Michigan
you can legally put the bets in if you're in state lines.
Yep.
Yeah.
They don't care if you move out of state lines after the place.
Right.
You can cash them for wherever.
Right.
You just have to place them inside.
Yes.
So.
I know you can do
And I don't get it. What's the point with, like, you can do in person, you can't do online?
Right. Doesn't
Come
make a lot.
Like,
it's such a touchy subject with gambling. You just don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, but at this point,
that's why it's called gambling.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, with the players especially.
But then I sat there and I'm like, well, we're letting, people gamble online with all these, like, loot boxes and fake stuff.
Right.
That's totally fine.
Yeah.
But if you want to put money on your own team,
You can't do
as
that.
a 21-year-old, you can't do that.
You can't
That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
And it's like, it's what, 24 states now, I believe? So
Allowing
at this
gambling?
point,
Almost half the union.
Sports gambling or
yeah,
just
almost half the union. At this point, it's just like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Flips allowed everywhere. Flips not even it's technically not a sports book.
Right.
Say that heavy quotations. All these DFS ones where you pick parlays, those are fine.
Right.
So, but I mean, Shohei definitely bet on himself. Just saying, I think
if anything, he bet the over on himself, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Shohei, you would.
You bet the
You
over.
would.
Like,
I mean,
Yeah.
so.
who wouldn't?
Shohei coming up to the plate like, wait a minute, what's my bet again? Oh, we got to win by 4. We're only down by 1.
Good thing,
Grand slam.
good thing the bases are loaded.
Knock 'em all home. Good year to be a Dodgers fan. Holy, that team.
no.
The only thing
Stacked.
stopping them is an injury.
Or themselves. Or the Braves.
shoot 'em by
Or do you think they get the Mets curse? Because we saw the Mets do this. But with the Mets, it was like old players.
or Dave Roberts. Or
Yeah, Dave.
I don't like
Dave
Dave
might
Roberts as a
hold the team
manager. I've never liked him as a manager.
I'm so sad as a Brewers fan to watch Counsell walk to the Cubs. That really hurt. That really hurt. A former player and your manager going to their rival. That was
Rough.
bad. He wasn't even
Yeah.
chased out of town.
That was rough.
No.
So
I don't know.
Cubs don't deserve anything. That's like the Brett Favre curse, where like he went to Minnesota and just didn't feel right the whole time.
Right.
Right.
No, he felt wrong in New York. He didn't feel wrong in Minnesota.
It felt like it felt wrong though when he was going to go to the Super Bowl with Minnesota. That
Yeah.
felt wrong.
But he had to find what the Porter did over the middle in the
That was the
championship game.
worst throw I've ever seen.
He had to try to fire.
Who else had a throw like that? Jordan Love.
Jordan Love.
Exactly the same.
Exactly
thing.
the same
throw.
thing. Yeah.
Oh
Same
my.
throw.
Jeez.
We were just sitting there like, what are you doing?
I mean,
That's high school level.
I mean, the Packers quarterbacks try to represent each other in.
Yeah, the
Sometimes we
Packers
rep-
QBs are just like a cult. They just keep
Yeah,
repeating each other's
exactly.
cycles.
Exactly.
Like
Hot
Aaron.
start, young guy, sits 3 years. Really great start. Aaron did that.
Yeah.
No,
He had great
you have
stats
to
his
lose it.
first
Like
year.
you lose like your first. What you go like
You struggle
two?
out of the
Yeah,
gate.
you struggle out of the
Well,
gate.
Aaron
and then
went
do
6
really
and
good.
10 though, his first year. His second year was the playoffs year.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
'cause-
right.
yeah.
Yeah. People don't talk about the 2008 season that he
No.
had. They only
No.
talk about 2009.
That team was in transition.
Right.
though. You
yeah.
could tell.
I'm like,
And that's what it was looked like it was going to be Love. That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking it was going to be. And then all of a sudden he just,
Popped off.
yeah.
it clicked
Oh, no.
in his head.
Until,
I'll tell you though, as soon as I watched Jaron Hall march out against the Packers, I knew the Vikings were toast.
Screwed.
I was like, you guys have no playoff hopes.
No.
All right.
Should have taken Joe Flacco. God, it was so fun to watch him, but like you knew he was going to just make the most boneheaded throw because he didn't care.
No.
He didn't care. He was having fun.
I got him a comeback player of the year award. So.
Oh, yeah.
Gunsling.
I don't know how that was how was that a debate between him and DeMar? DeMar played like 4 plays.
Yeah.
I was
No,
like,
it's not a debate.
It's
at all.
not
No,
even.
zero.
It's
Yeah.
not even a
everyone on
debate.
Twitter's like, it should be DeMar. I'm like, what are you
Why?
talking about? I'm
What?
like, no.
Because he almost died.
Maybe like the story of the year, but
Yeah.
he didn't play. That's player,
Right.
not storyer.
Yeah.
So
No, it is a good story, but like Joe Flacco deserved it
that
way
was
over.
such a good story though.
Yeah.
Because Baker was like the 3rd choice, but it was like, well, he's played. It's not like he came off the couch.
Right.
And Flacco quite literally did, and
Yeah,
one game.
literally came off the couch.
You're like, I'm
Otherwise,
done
no,
watching
I
these
didn't
Browns.
even blame the Rams game on him. I just said like if he doesn't make the one pick, like he didn't have a run game. If he had a running game, that team might have ran like another week or 2.
Yeah.
Probably.
Because Jerome Ford was sorry. Like I really wanted Jerome Ford to work. He was not.
No, he was not good.
Runner.
I'm sorry.
That line fell apart bad, so I didn't help. Like we were down to like our 6th tackle. As soon as I watched our 6th tackle walk in, I'm like, we're toast.
We're done.
And then as soon as that happened, like the whole game went bam,
Yeah.
it fell in. I'm like, we're bringing guys off the street.
Yep.
So they need to fire their strength and conditioning coach. Gone. Trainer,
Get
gone.
out of here.
Please.
Get him out of here.
I don't know how teams don't do that more often. You watch 40 injuries and you keep the same trainer? No, come on.
Twins did that.
Why?
You're doing something wrong.
They got a new guy.
Baseball,
Anyway.
you want to talk Twins a little bit before we let you off?
Oh boy.
Quick little, because we got what?
0 time.
2 days till opening day. 3
Yeah.
days.
Yep. And they open in Kansas City, so
Yeah.
that'll be I like their chances to win the division. I know that much. Now, they don't have Duran for the first couple weeks. Their bullpen's a little thin with injuries. But, hey, as long as Byron Buxton plays 80-something games, we should be okay this year. But no, it'd be a good division, though. It's probably the most it's one of the better divisions in baseball this year, for sure.
Except for the White Sox.
Except for the White Sox.
White Sox always suck, but, you know.
But again,
Lord.
Yeah, you've got some great talent there. You've got
Carlos
Correa
Correa.
on
we
the
got Correa,
Twins.
Buxton.
You've got Witt on the Royals.
Yep.
Trying to think Tigers.
Tigers, they got Riley Green. They got Torkelson, who's pretty good.
That's true, yeah. And then the Guardians have Jose Ramirez.
They have Stephen Kwan.
Lights out to Tim Anderson.
Yeah. I remember the Twins. I can't remember which game it was.
Anderson.
It was shortly after that. They put on the Jumbotron. They played Cleveland. And it said, fun fact, Jose Ramirez is 1-0 with a TKO over Tim Anderson. I thought it was just hilarious.
That was... They need more of that in baseball.
Yes.
Everybody was talking about it for a week.
Right.
So,
but no, I think for the Twins, late 80s, maybe 90 wins is realistic for them.
For sure.
And then,
you think they can crack 100?
No, I don't think 100, but they can get maybe early pushing 90.
It's too good of a division in a conference.
Yeah, but like the funny
the Twins
thing,
aren't there at the powerhouse.
The funny thing last year was they were really good except their own division. Like they couldn't beat Kansas City. They beat Cleveland pretty good. They couldn't beat Chicago.
Yeah, I don't get how they couldn't beat Chicago.
They couldn't beat Detroit. Like, they
Oh.
couldn't beat Detroit. So like
crazy.
they beat everybody else but Detroit. So it was just so odd, but they'll be good this year for sure, no doubt.
I don't have as high hopes for Milwaukee. I'm not gonna lie. Woodruff's out for the year. He already announced it. He's like, I'm not even gonna play this season. So we only have Freddie Peralta.
At least he got Yelich.
They don't know who. Yeah, they don't know who the bullpen guy is because Devin Williams isn't there for the first couple weeks or whatever it is.
I think so, yeah.
And Yelich, hopefully he comes back. Willie Adames went off. I watched Adames and Willie Adames play the spring training game against the Diamondbacks the other day.
Yeah.
3 home runs. I was like, good Lord.
I remember about the Brewers was Correa going yard off Devin Williams in that game in June. That's what I remember about the Brewers.
Watching Devin Williams pitch made me so nervous because, man, he got a lot of saves. Yeah, he would get saves, but he would always put himself in the worst possible spot.
Bases
It's
loaded,
almost like he would
down by one.
It's almost like he would walk guys on purpose just to the ante on
I
himself.
feel like Duran does that to scare the crap out of his hitters sometimes.
Well, Hader was lights out, and then all of a sudden you watched him he started fading, and then San Diego bought him. He was just trash. He was bad.
Again, with Hader, Jose Miranda took him deep, and then it's just so.
At first I was like, why did we get rid of Hader? And then watch him on San Diego. I'm like, never mind.
That's fine.
I was like, never mind.
When I was in Houston, we can all boo him. So so it's okay.
I think as long as Milwaukee keeps doing whatever they're doing with catchers, they're gonna be fine.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, they got William Contreras, amazing catcher.
Yeah, Willie's great.
Defensively, one of the best.
Right.
Or no, offensively, one of the best. Defensively, needs his help. Milwaukee made him a great defensive catcher overnight. So Lucroy's been good. They've taken guys like Maldonado and made him good. So, but I'd say I'd be happy if we got 500 this year.
Maybe.
I'm trying to think who runs that because the Cardinals, I don't think they're good.
Maybe the Cubs.
Cubs or Pirates?
I'd lean more Cubs then.
As much as I just
I
say
can't trust
the Cubs
Pittsburgh
probably.
over 162.
And the Reds have young talent, but I don't think
Reds
they put
would be.
together.
Yeah, Reds might be there.
Ellie De La Cruz was fun to watch. Oh,
yeah,
he's such a fun guy to watch. But then we got to let Vinny go here. He's got to get to one of his 7 jobs.
You know.
Is there anything you want to send us off on, Vinny?
Just
Any final words over there?
Keep going on the grind, guys. It will pay off eventually.
You got a baseball team at all?
Twins.
Twins?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
My bad.
So
I'm the outlier here.
I'm Twins or Red Sox, but
I like Red Sox.
my Minnesota teams and Boston teams. That's about it for teams. But yeah, thanks Grant for coming on the show with us.
Me, fellas. I appreciate it.
It was a good time.
It was a great time, and
otherwise we're just sitting here arguing each other.
we are bickering at each other. So I'm glad you could take the spotlight for this show.
What's the game you're watching? If you pick one March Madness game to watch for Sweet 16.
Ooh man,
that's a good send-off.
Honestly,
question.
probably Duke.
Duke?
Because aren't they playing Gonzaga?
Playing Houston.
Playing Houston. Yeah, that's the game. Yeah, that's what I was confused about. Yeah, Duke Houston would be the game I would watch.
I'd have to go.
That would be a
Creighton,
good
Tennessee. I'm gonna have to go with.
Yeah.
Watching
NC State Marquette.
Watching that double overtime with Creighton was fun.
Yeah,
for
sure.
Tennessee had a close one, so they're both coming off nail biters. So it'll be fun to see them rebound.
But I do have a soft spot for Duke, so I always like watching Duke.
I mean, being a Wisconsin guy, I'm gonna have to watch Marquette. But man, they almost dropped to Colorado. That was not good. Colorado though shot the lights out back-to-back times.
Yeah.
So All right.
All right.
That's all we got.
Turning off the lights in the studio.
Is there anything you want to say to people think about Spectrum, I guess?
We're always in use of writers, so if you think about writing for the Spectrum, not just for me, but for anybody else, please do. Be gladly appreciated and keep reading our stuff. We appreciate it.
And please join Ben if you don't want to.
Join Ben. We need a new overtime. We need a new member of the Bison Overtime.
Sounds like we need sports guys everywhere.
Yeah.
Cash in the back.
Yeah.
You wanna be a new Ben member and hi, what's up, Drew?
Face of the team.
Face of the team. Oh yeah. But anyway, we will catch you guys next week. Stay tuned for more March Madness.
More March Madness. Maybe we'll do a mock draft next week. We're getting close.
We're getting
I
close.
can smell that.
I still need to reach out to John about Herd and Horn special.
Yeah, we were going to do something in Herd and Horns, like a live NFL draft night. React to all the picks live.
Okay.
So that should be fun.
Okay.
Sure.
If we can get access.
Yep. I'll ask him. We should be fine. But yeah, that Bison Overtime will be fun to watch. And other than that, we will catch you guys next week. See ya.
Dodge the snow.